I straight on there? I'll just make sure I do it.
All right. Well, that like we got a big audience in the house. Good, nice show today. Welcome to the show, Black Middle Class Talk. We're going to talk it up as always every Wednesday at 1:30 to 2:30. Give an hour of chat. Coming in a little late today, but that's fine. And we're going to cut right to it. As always, our show format, we do domestic news, international news on the top end, just to get everybody caught up to what's going on in the world. And then we have today's subject that's going to talk about black issues, whatever they may be. We picked today's subject of the day is tribalism. And we're going to continue with that for 15 minutes. And then at the end of the show, we do entertainment as a uplift for the show. And so, as we always start out with domestic news, Brother Blake, we got EB here. My name is CC. EB, what you got for domestic news?
Thank you, Kevin. Today is that one of the subjects that we're talking about is one that you probably heard about, and I think for the last, where the war has been going on for 12 days now. So that is the top subject. The top subject is war in Iran. And the reason why that we're in a war with Iran is undisclosed. You know, we've been given many reasons by the administration as reason why that they took on this war, but none of it makes any sense to the American people because they didn't go to Congress to have the war, nor did they get their permission to do it. So that's where we are right now, and we're getting a lot of the kickbacks from the war is that we got allies that we have in that area that Iran is attacking, and the reason why they're attacking them is because of their providing support to the U.S. So we are in the middle of a war, and we're dragging a lot of other countries into it. My personal opinion is that I think it's a war, and as being a veteran, you know, it really breaks my heart to know that we already gave up 7 lives, and there will probably be many more. And the Secretary of War and the President of the United States are warning and telling the American people, well, with war, you know, you're going to have deaths. But, you know, I have my problem with that because none of his families do it. But that's what we have going on now in the war in the U.S. as far as domestic at this time.
Okay, that's a war, I guess, is in a... Really, like I say, we always tie the two together. It's hard to talk around the two because really the war is overseas in Iran. And you say the part that bothers you about it is the loss of life. You referred to the soldiers. But I say, for me, it's just a broad loss of life that's unnecessary. And the most part that bothers me about this war, I'm a little bit more beyond the pale, and I'm going to say the word that nobody wants to say, but this is what you call treason. To me, this is treason. I mean, we're being set up, and that's the way I feel. It's coming. I mean, the administration has fired everybody that's supposed to be terrorism. All the talent has gone out the door. They don't want to work for... They don't want to commit treason, and it's hard to keep a job because I know the honor that most people that work in government have, and it's not a stretch. But what's happening right now, I think, is beyond the pale of what we are ready for, what we have seen. We've never seen the President of the United States, the man that's supposed to protect us, is actually setting us up. At best, he's breaking us. I mean, we've said $1 billion a day or something like that. We're already 38 trillion in the hole in debt, right. Which most of it, 2/3, probably all of it, is by Republican presidents. Right. I mean, we've been slow walked to this point where, this is will we survive or will we not? I don't know what it's going to look like when it's all over. I mean, we talked about this the last time. That's why we're going to go to tribalism, because what happens when the American government breaks down? Something we've never seen before. Right. Other countries, they probably have experienced this. And this may be a case of the chickens coming home to roost, because I know we've destroyed plenty of countries, destabilized, because it's an understatement to say that we have been destabilized. Our federal government where's the Justice Department? We don't have a Justice Department. We got a Trump law firm. But if you get in trouble on the federal level,
Trump.
yeah, I mean, we're in some serious doo-doo here, for lack of a better word. And like I said, I think it's coming. The setup is set, because Trump needs this catastrophe, like a 9/11 catastrophe, and then they can go get the Patriot Act Part 2 for him to overtake the country, because he know he can't win the election. So he's going to, I don't know what they're planning, but they're planning something. And usually they'll tell you what they're going to plan. They're so idiots. They can't even keep a good secret. They tell you what they're going to do.
He just spoke out.
What did he say?
He said is that the most important thing that you got to do is pass the American Safe Act with the plan is being put in place, and he's saying that's priority number one. And the reason why it's priority number one, because he know if they lose the midterm, his ass is his butt is not going to be able to do anything else. And all those folks, like you said, the Bundys and all those folks going to come to Congress, and they're going to be subpoenaed, and they're going to be charged.
Right. There'll be a day of reckoning.
A day of reckoning, exactly.
And that's the gamble. It's a race to the finish line. They're like, we can be lawless as long as we don't lose. But we lose, we're going to be looking for pardons every left way. Right. And I don't know how anybody who works for Trump would trust him. Yeah, to give them a pardon, because if they don't get a pardon, they're going straight up to jail at best. Right. I think this is the treason. I mean,
but if Trump ain't in office, no pardon is coming.
Well, last time he did it right before he left.
Right. Right. But you can't give no blank pardon. You can't pardon some person that stands the chance of going on trial, and that they going on the other side of it. If they find you guilty, here's a pardon over here waiting on you.
Why can't you? I thought you can give a pardon at any time. They even give preemptive pardons.
No, what I'm saying, a blank pardon. So she ain't been charged. So, I mean, whoever it is, they haven't been charged yet.
I'll check that one.
Yeah.
So we'll check that one for discussion, because I think you can give a pardon. But remember when Trump left office the last time, and everybody was coming to him asking for pardon?
Right.
They're like, for what? What did he get a pardon for? Because of the crimes we just did, son. You don't remember that? Because it was like you say, well, why am I giving you a pardon? It's for, I think, now that's why I say we have to check that with a start, but I kind of remember that.
Let me make sure I understand, is that I'm saying is that if he ain't in office, that's what, okay, so that he's not in office. So in other words, all those people got to have their trial before he get out of office, so when they find him guilty, is that he can give them a pardon.
Okay.
I'm saying you can't give no blank pardon. Okay, here's a pardon over here. If you ever get caught up, you can just go over here and reach and grab his pardon. But no, it don't work like that.
If he did it while in office. Let's say while he was in office, just before he left, he gives Pam Bondi
but she have to have been charged. You can't give.
Okay,
you can't give. Okay, yeah.
That's the question. We'll hold that point. Right. Other news. We talked about, we had some notes on the national debt and the gas prices.
Yes.
We got Russia, Ukraine, the Strait of Hormuz, where I think I'm pronouncing that right, where can't get anything through it, and he's wrecking the whole world. The United States this man, if you think about his career, it's always been about wrecking something. He got the casinos, he wrecked those. Got the country, is wrecking that. It's just everything he touches.
He's wrecking, like he does, he makes chaos, and then he comes back and try to show that he fixed it.
Right. They call that the arsonist. He's the arsonist and the firefighter.
Firefighter at the same time. Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, so, the things that he's doing, like you saying, and then we go back to the things that we've been talking on this show about for a while, is that African Americans sometimes ask the question, what does this have to do with us? I guess you got that answer now.
No, they tell me, what does that have to do with it? Just in words, in your words, what does this have to do
I'm saying
with
I just go to the smallest point. Go to the gas station. That affects you. You need gas to get where you're going.
Right.
food. I mean, all these things that we ask, that we always
the
ask that
prices
question.
are
Yeah,
going
exactly.
up,
We ask that
inflation.
question. What did that have to do? And that's why you got to keep an eye on what is going on. You know, I know a lot of people is that it's so much going on in the world, and he has so much chaos, is that you get tired. It's almost like you want to scream.
Right.
But you can't check out.
Right.
You can't check out.
And by the way, he's in everybody's head. Like you say, even when you go to the pump, that's
Right.
in your head. Why
Right.
did these prices go up?
Yeah.
You know, you can't hide today. And that's what I see. This all hands on deck. Can't ignore it, the gas prices. But you had an interesting observation. You were talking about the people that support him or still supporting him, that they kind of write this out to a freedom tax or something like that, the gas prices.
Right, yeah.
What do you say about that?
Well, see, and it's so funny is that we have been able, for the last couple shows that we've done, is how we are able to tie our subject in to what's going on in the world. And there's no better sign of tribalism than for someone to get on national TV and tell the world that what this man is doing is all understood. That, I mean, because the thing, if you say,
how do they
you look
explain it? How do they justify it? I don't follow MAGA like you do.
No, I don't follow MAGA either, but I'm just saying.
You watch Fox News?
Oh no. Yeah, that's when I got logged. That's when I got DVR on there.
But you told me that.
No. I'm saying matter of fact, this was on MS Now, that it was on, and they went to the gas pump and asked this lady, and the lady said, "Well, it's just a burp." You know what I'm saying? Is that they speaks about it in the subject, and it's for the definition for tribalism. Is it that one inner and everybody outside that group don't matter. It's all the thing.
Okay, so you're saying that the MAGA people are circling the wagons.
Circle the wagon, yeah, because it's who it is.
I think we have a statistic of how much each individual pays per debt that we go into, but that's another subject. That's the national debt. But they just circle the wagons, and the man can do no wrong, right?
Yeah, because
and so they're justifying this. The way I understood it,
right.
they're justifying it to say that this is a freedom tax or something. Because this gas going up, I mean, he's taxed us in so many different ways instead of indirectly. I mean, tariff is a tax on the American people. This unforced war makes gas prices go up. That was something most people didn't have in their budget.
Right, exactly.
And so when it hits, I remember when we were pretty high. We still haven't gotten up to the $5 mark yet. Do you remember that?
We close.
Yeah, I'm like,
hey, I have to use premium gas. I know where it is.
Wow.
It's $4.79.
Wow. Okay, then you're there already. Thereabouts. It's because it's going to keep going up. And do you think it's going to turn into a world war? I mean, as you were saying that Iran is attacking, I guess these are allies of the United States, that they're like Dubai. What does Dubai have to do with Iran and the United States and Israel? I mean, I think they're north of the region.
See, Iran being from the Muslim state of their thinking, is that those Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Qatar, UAE, those people that has massive wealth, and they've always felt that way about them because of, and then it goes against their teachings because they got people over there in Iran that's, barely having something to eat, and living under that, that structural religious ideology.
Mm-hmm. They call that theocracy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anytime your government is ruled by religion,
gotcha.
It's a theocracy. Where we heading? United States. That's what the MAGA in that group. There's a lot of headsets. As you notice, he's got a religious tone of religious war going on. You know how he talks about Jesus Christ on the podium. And him serving, it's like he's so twisted. That's a religious thing, and that's nothing new. It shouldn't be anything new to anybody that they want to turn this into a religious theocracy, the United States, when it clearly says in the First Amendment it's supposed to be separation of church and state. And the metaphorical, in the summary of this it doesn't read like that, but it's the same thing.
But
when they say separation of church and state, they mean the government and the church are
To-
totally separate. They shouldn't have any.
supposedly.
And that's a good
Supposedly.
amendment, because not only does it protect the state from the church, it protects the church from the state.
Right.
So these people are trying to put the two together, are making a massive mistake. If you put them two together, that's what we're going to have. We're going to have an Iran type situation where, I don't know who would be I hope it ain't Trump making the rules. We got to come and kiss the ring, or the Pope in charge of the United States. That's an interesting thing, theocracies in government.
But the theocracy, the thing about it is that, the same way the Supreme Court, the same way the DOJ, the same way Congress have given in, he also trying to run and that particular segment evangelical, because like you say, it's supposed to be a separator between that. But then again, when you get a pastor to get on a stand and say that God sent Trump to here, that's how you pulling, so in other words, all the people that's following that, because it's scary, because the fact is that I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, is that we were saying is that does the name Jim Jones ring a bell to anybody?
Right.
So,
we remember that.
right.
He was a mass
manipulator.
And then he took his parishioners to Ghana, I think it was, and they got suspicious. Family calling, where are my family and all that, and the senators, at least one senator went to check the scene out. Yeah. Jim Jones seen that he was caught. He got these people off nowhere. They can't leave.
Right.
And in the end, he had them drink the Kool-Aid or some type of mixture. Killed over well over 1,000, 900 people, something like that. I don't know the exact number, but it was a massive. You can pull it. Anybody can Google it and see the pictures of the dead people.
And do you hear how people always say now? Is that for Trump? They saying they drunk the Kool-Aid.
Right,
it's used as a
that metaphor.
Yeah,
and
metaphor.
I think that's what that goes back to.
Yep.
But in this, so we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back with our subject, and I think you gave me a good segue to go into that subject, because I want to ask you when we come back about the people standing around Trump and with the religious people, because it's going to go to tribalism, putting their hands on them and praying for them. Exactly. So we'll come back after this break. Good 60 seconds here. on the tribalism?
Well, like when I was reading up on this, I say, man, this thing here got so many legs. It's just so many different ways you can go with that. And one is that one rabbit hole, if you would, that I crawled down is the one of when our people was brought here. Just consider this. You got a group of people from Mississippi, you got a group of people from Texas, you got a group of people from Alabama, you got a group from Florida. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to take those same group of people and put them all on one boat. Yep. So now they're intertwined with each other.
Right.
So now when they make it to their destination, is that which group are we going to follow? Everybody got their own tradition, got their culture, got their spirituality, the whole 9 yards. But we as a people, black people, is that we was thrust into that. So we was not able to come here and to be identified. We was identified as one. We was
right. So let me clear it before you go farther, because when you were talking about it, I want to make sure people understand that you weren't talking about a cruise ship. You was talking about the slaves,
Gotcha.
the people,
Okay.
The Europeans came down the western side of Africa, picked up people that was stolen. I don't know if they were stolen or just outright stolen and taken from their family. These were different tribes. Now you got the Messiah, you have the other tribe. Anybody know their tribes in Africa? Probably don't, because that's something that was taken away. But I'm almost certain in our DNA, you can go back. Those people who were stolen belong to a tribe. And the better way to understand this, let's just say you took Irish person, Italian person, a Jewish person, and you blindfolded them and put them all into a room and said, you guys are all one people, one person, one tribe. And they're not knowing, they're looking at each other, but they can't understand each other. They don't know the tradition. So that's what you were referring to. I'll kick it back to you, that these people were from different tribes. They just were black skinned.
Right.
It's almost like we can relate when I say Italian and German and let's say Spaniard or whatever, the European. They get to be their group. In the
individuality.
Individuality. Because they look white, but they can tell you exactly what they are. Now in America, when we're black, we don't know. That's something that was stripped away, because like you say, they were good when they were on the bottom of the boat. They still had their identity. They think the boat probably where we're heading. This ain't no field trip. And when they get to where their destiny are, all that stuff is stripped from them.
Right.
Their family, whatever they had in their head, their mother, father, that's gone. Their kids gone. They're into a new world, new life. They've been captive. And so that's our story here in America, that we are different tribes thrown together, but we wouldn't have a clue which one.
Right, exactly. But and in saying that, is that when I was talking about the tribalism, like say, and they saying the individuality of any particular group, is that you look at things as far as like how the world goes, mm-hmm. and how we evolve. Mm-hmm. And so you see this group over here, because we say it all the time. If we go to and be on a bus and we sitting there just taking a ride, and then all of a sudden a black kid come on the bus playing his music loud, cussing, and doing everything. So when they associate that, is that we don't get the right to have our own individuality. Uh-huh. Is that because they're looking at that, all those other people in there, mm-hmm. they're not looking at that young man is there being disrupted. They looking at that black man. Uh-huh. And so when they go home at night, they're going to say, honey, it was this black guy on the bus today, and he was just making up a ruckus. But
and then the husband say, well, that's how they are.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So
the problem?
Yeah, exactly. It's not any separation for that. And then even to people that listen to hip hop, some people, the older folks, would say, man, how you listen to that junk, right? But then again, those same tribe of those kids, Gen Z or is that they will say, but y'all was listening to Marvin Gaye. That didn't make any sense to me. You listen to Parliament. Oh, that's another example. Parliament.
I was just thinking that when my mom was listening to me when I would play Funkadelic.
Right.
Yeah, it was that.
Oh,
like,
exactly. What is that? What is that?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, the tribalism, like I said, and it goes into politics. It's the perfect example, it's the perfect storm of tribalism right now in the United States. And the United States is that no matter what this man does, just because I got GOP associated with me, he can't do no wrong.
That's your tribe. That's their
That's
tribe.
their tribe.
The tribe.
The GOP, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's when I was reading during the stuff, but they broke it down. They broke it down based on religion. They broke it down based on politics, based down on community. So that's why I was saying that this subject that we have, tribalism, it has a whole lot of different legs. But then again, when it come back being associated to us, is just that how is it that one person that's in a tribe, can associate, because we as a people is that, like we always say, we understand stuff, and no matter where it is across universal, it's just certain things that we as African American do, we understand it. Right. It's just understood across the board. And that's goes back to tribalism.
And by the way, they had a term for that what black people call it. We're a monolithic race. When one person does something negative, it affects the whole group. Yep. And that is generally unique to African Americans here in America. And that's by design. We talk about tribalism, and I've said up on the top that we're all Americans. But the problem is that with America, that we've never been really put in the tribe of America. For instance, here's a good one. Here's one. When Christopher Columbus landed his what was it, Santa Maria, whatever the ships came in. When Christopher Columbus landed, I estimate, I think I read there was 28 million Native Americans, indigenous people, 28 million. And today's estimate is that there are 2 million. Okay, that tribe was pretty much wiped out, right? Put on reservations, right? Okay, as you just said, when the black people who were basically slaves came in their tribe, whatever tribes each one of those individuals belonged to, it was gone. They were all black people now. They were just slaves. They didn't have, as I say, horses had better records than people. All that was wiped out. So here we are in America. We really never. I go with the Hispanics, for instance. They came in, really open arms, as long as they were working for cheap labor. As long as they, cutting that chicken up in the meat factory, killing them all, they're picking that, those cabbages and on the, it's all good, right? Same as black people when they were picking cotton, it's all good. But now you want some rights? Now, all that. Now, your tribe, we got a problem with your tribe because your tribe is not according to us in their part, doing their part. Like I've said, if you look at the tribes of Israel, each tribe had a responsibility. In fact, the Levites didn't even have a tribe. That was what the religious group God set aside just for priests. They didn't even have, but that's what their role was. The religious part. They had laws for that, but that was from God. You know what I'm saying? So this is a man-made, for African Americans here, this is a man-made disaster. And we've been at this for 400 years. Right. And so I hate to say it, be the bearer of bad news. It's a brutal world. But we've fought, African Americans fought a good fight, still fighting a good fight. America, well, we're on the brink now, but to where we bought America and with our, how should I say, our temperament has been one of forgiving, one of love. That's what makes a nation. Because if we go tick for tack, I want to get you back because Iran, you just killed 160 of their school children. Right. You think they're going to lay low on that? No. And turn the other cheek and say, hey, no, that ain't happening. I'm just saying that because they're from a different tribe. They have different ways. Theirs is not turn the other cheek. Right. Doesn't seem to me to be. And so we'll see how that plays out. But I just wanted to make sure that we, in this conversation about tribalism, we'll take a quick break and do another part. If we have anybody who wants to chime in on the subject, feel free to call in, and we'll get that input. But For as black people are concerned, tribalism, our tribe is a distinct tribe because that's why I sometimes find that we can't get along. We always have that thing upon us, that label upon us. Black people can't get along. Black on black crime, all those cliches, which is we're really no different than any other people, but because, like I say, we're a monolithic race, all that we're just judged by one standard.
And you know, and talking about tribalism is that when Obama got elected, you know,
Can you hold that point, and can we start with that? Because
Okay.
that's going to take us to a few more people.
Okay.
And so we'll come back in a few seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll start. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Brother, before we left, we were talking about tribalism, and you brought up an interesting name because of the black tribalism, and you brought up Barack Obama's name. We're talking
Yeah.
about tribalism. Where were you going with that?
I was going to say is that as a tribe, is that you had people that never voted before,
Okay.
and people that never even engaged in politics. Now, because now you have someone that's in a position to do something, and it's going to be representation of your tribe. Because we all, like you say, we all accept that we're black, you know. But then again, you have people that's black that leaves the tribe because they feel that they can be
Example, leave the tribe.
lead the tribe in the sense is that
Michael Jackson, maybe? Change color? That's it.
no. Okay,
Tribe.
you're right. I'm trying to think. Rick's what's his name? The dude from South Carolina.
Oh, Tim Scott.
Tim Scott. You know, I'm just
Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so
They left the tribe.
They left the tribe because because they seen that it's more advantageous for them to be on the low side of that other tribe as opposed to being on the high side in this tribe because they feel it's more advantageous to be in that tribe.
Okay.
Because even Clarence Thomas, he would tell you that he got where he was through affirmative action.
Because he was black.
Because he was black.
Okay.
But then again, he said now he gets up in that position because he's in another tribe. Exactly.
Pulls the rope up.
Pull the rope up. Good example.
Okay,
Good example.
so you picked Tim Scott. We just threw some names out
Yeah.
there. And how we define that they left the tribe, because you probably asked Tim Scott, he said, I'm representing over here. You know, the Republicans have a good plan for my tribe, that they're not, the other party, you know, they're just giving handouts. And over here, we're trying to have black people uplift themselves and pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. And so the tribe that I've joined, the GOP, being a black man, has just being the kind of make his argument, not that he would say this, but it would be more advantageous for black people to join this party because they can advance better. Maybe that's what he would say. Look at him. He ran to the front of the line. He got millions in his pocket.
Well, he ran to the front of the line because the fact is that he was a comfortable he was a comfortable one to import into is because of what they do. Because you remember the one guy, I think he died, and they needed to either died or he got kicked out of it. And so the Republican governor, select who fills in his spot until they have another election. And that was Tim Scott.
That's right.
Right. And so,
but he
so
did
now,
win, though.
I'm saying so. So you had plenty enough time. So in other words, and you had plenty enough time to show them that I'm on y'all team now. It's
Okay.
So when he came, when he came back to be elected, everybody say, hey, he one of us. So they ain't gonna go against him because he's one of us. And why is it?
They, by the way, is not going to go against him. Black people not going to go against him.
No, he as a black man is not going to turn on us.
Are you saying the white people are saying that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
okay.
that's why they're
so
comfortable.
He comes into the tribe, into their
serve your purpose.
So he left the black tribe. He joined the white tribe. Well, that's what we're saying. Or is this political? This is all political. In other words, most black people are Democrats. So did he leave the? When we say, because we're talking about tribalism, he left. What I want to get to, let me say it plain. Right. Did he leave? He gave up his blackmanship, or he's not no longer, from your standpoint, we pulled his black card?
But, I pull it. And the reason why I pull it is because if you have shown, and you know what I'm saying, you're a smart person, I have to give you credit for that. I just give you that because, as part of being my tribe at one time, I'm going to give you your just due. Okay. Is that you're a smart man. Is that you seeing these things, and then now this one time when that thing with Trump did with the Obamas with the monkey face,
yeah.
He said, "Oh, that's a deplorable," and he was able to say it because you had some people in his tribe saying the same thing. So it was comfortable for him.
Okay.
For him to stand up. Yeah, man, that's despicable.
And his tribe being white people.
You follow me? But I'm saying when we talk about tribalism, also is that I got other examples of people that have left the tribe and then tried to come back. O.J. Simpson totally left the tribe. And then when he got in trouble, what did he do? He go run back to his tribe.
Okay.
And then once he got relieved, what did he do? Went back.
Okay, and it's interesting you bring that up because we were talking about Clarence Thomas, because you remember Clarence Thomas when he got in hot water, what did he say? This is a high-tech lynching.
Exactly.
Was it effective?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because the tribe came to his defense, if I recall right, unfortunately.
Because that word. He used that word. He used that buzzword.
Right.
That dog whisper. Lynching. Black man. That picture is horrible. In your mind, if you think that, oh man, this is a lynching of a black man.
Uh-huh. Okay, I get you. Now, go back to Obama now. Let's get back to the meat and potatoes before we took the break. You were going to comment on Obama. Is he, because everybody knows his mother was white, his dad was from Africa,
right?
Kenya to be exactly. So, in the last 4 minutes that we have before we take this break, tell me where you were going with that, because I think you were getting ready to say that Obama is
no. I'm saying we talk about tribalism, and so what my point that I was making is that it's a lot of people, because I started out saying that there's a lot of people that had nothing to do with politics and they came to it because of who it was in play. Here's your opportunity to move somebody in your tribe to be the president of the United States.
Oh, okay.
So that's where that came from. And guess what? And they did it twice. I mean, they elected him twice.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
But they saying is that he couldn't have been elected without the other votes. Blacks couldn't just vote; couldn't elect him by itself. Yes, but then again, Obama is palatable to that, because you remember that one guy from Nevada said he's a good speaking black man. You remember he made that statement? Well. He speaks well.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So in other words, he's like, hey, this is somebody, and but the thing about it is the Democrat was saying.
That was Harry Reid, by the way.
Harry Reid, right? He said the Democrats were saying is that, hey, this is opportunity for us to get the president the House and the Senate,
Right.
and they achieved it
Right.
from a black. So why is it that when they say Obama, we got so much of this in tribalism, we got so many firsts. First black astronaut. Why is it just being the first astronaut? I mean, why just it's an astronaut that just happened to be black?
Okay.
Yeah.
I get that, but we're not there. You're right. I think we're getting there, but at that time, this was something new to us because I don't think anybody would have predicted we were going. Well, let me take that back. Martin Luther King did that we were going to have a black president in our lifetime. In fact, that's why I think we were welling over and giving Bill Clinton so much love because
he was the closest.
Yeah, and I don't know why he could play the saxophone, but he hired some black people. Then I give him that. But we thought that
ain't all they gave him.
Oh, no, that was.
I was just saying, but they say that's associated with a black man. Ain't that messed up? Ain't that messed up?
But I was just saying that that thought. I think what was in black people's mind at the time, that's the closest we were going to get. Now, and so I'm just saying in the perspective of then. Yeah, and you're right. There's been a lot of firsts in the early 2000s. And you're right. And I get the excitement of, but here we are in 2026. And I'm not feeling every time I turn around, the first black, first Disney. I just don't feel it. It's like, well, after the Jeffersons and good times, I'm good, whatever's on TV, that is. But back to tribalism. I don't want to get too far off the subject. But I thought where you were going with the Obama thing was that there was controversy on was he black, and I understood it. There are good arguments for it that, technically he doesn't have that background we have as far as the diaspora of the slave trade, and that our coming up in America, it goes back 400 years, but his only went back in his lifetime. Now I'm not saying he didn't experience racism and all that. He didn't go through the hard knocks.
He just didn't speak about it. He just didn't speak about it.
In his book, he does.
He
speaks about it in his book.
Okay.
The Audacity to Hope. And so, he took some lumps. Being black, and being in an interracial family, he took some lumps, but in the end, it's like anybody else, you overcome. So it's a legitimate argument because unlike Michelle Obama, his wife, she has that background, that history of growing up with two black parents who had that experience in the civil rights. And Michelle, I seen them old pictures. She came up the same way most of us black people did. We struggled.
I think they had gained to be in a middle class family.
Yeah,
because I think he worked at the auto industry or something.
Yeah, but whatever that meant for black people, you still limited. Now, black middle class, like it is now, that's the name of the show, is different than white middle class over there.
Right.
Now, I'm just saying income levels may be the same. That's how you really start out defining black middle class. You start out by income, but for the show, that's not in my definition. But if I get it technically.
I was just going to say is that when you were just talking about that, I think we talked about this before also, is that I said to you is that, Obama has a black dad and a white mom, is that that's why, in my mind, is that it was okay for him, because they saying is that just as much as the blacks say, oh, we got a black, is that the whites can say the same thing.
Yeah.
No.
I never heard it.
No, I'm saying they're not. You're right. They're not going to say it. But then again, so I would say is that if you look in Congress, and you talk about tribalism, look in Congress, and it's something that we have done with Spike Lee did a movie about it. Is talking about colorism, right? Is that look at those folks. I don't know not one. Well, I will. I'm sorry, Tim Scott. I'm just saying, but look at all the other people. Look at their skin tone.
Yes,
look at this.
That goes way back. That's
what
I'm saying.
You're saying right? Exactly. So we're talking about tribalism. So I would say that we know Jesse Jackson ran. He ran for president. You know,
did quite well.
Yeah, he did quite well. But he did not have the ability to bring on the other masses because he was talking about the tribe. When you speak about the tribe, you're like, we don't mind you having a conversation, but don't go out in the American public and tell everybody, because then again, now you doing a conversion. You making people think that black people are real smart people. Black people, can do just as much as anybody else.
You talking about Jesse Jackson?
No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying when he was going. In other words, he didn't change his message up.
I get you.
Yeah, okay,
I get you.
all right.
I get you. He wasn't trying to appease.
Exactly. So in other words, I'm gonna tell you the truth, which he did.
Right.
It was the truth,
and that does get, because it does get sticky.
Yeah,
it does.
Right. But he stayed with the tribe, even through it, because he could have folded and he probably would have had a better chance.
Who?
Jesse Jackson.
Well, okay, maybe. That's
hindsight.
Yeah, and I
Monday
don't
morning
really
quarterback.
necessarily agree with that. There was bombs. Minefields put all in front of Jesse. And they all like the Jewish thing. I remember that distinctively when he said that word. Like I didn't even know that was. Learned the hard way. Or the discrimination. That shows you what I know now. That doesn't say much about me, but anyway. But go ahead.
One last note. Did you see the thing that was on TV about that those two congressmen talking about Muslim, talking about he said, if I had a difference between a Mexican or a dog, I'd choose the dog. Now think this. Now this right here is nationally known news. That this guy, he tweeted this. They asked Johnson, is this guy going to be, anything going to happen to him? He said, well, he was right. But then again, the same subject. If somebody say something about a Jew, you done.
Okay.
You done.
Okay.
So I'm saying, why is that?
Because they're white.
No, because of the way the world is about that particular tribe. Is that they feel they've been through so much, but ain't nobody been through nothing as much as African American. You can't. I'm saying
American.
African American.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm speaking for my tribe.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there ain't nobody been at worse than what we have been through. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yes, everybody's like, but they've been put in ovens. Okay, I get that.
Yeah, there's for about 2 seasons worth of 3. And I'm not discounting. It's not paying comparison.
Don't get canceled now.
And I don't do paying comparison.
Don't get canceled.
Next thing you know, we'd be Jewish.
Don't get canceled, Cameron.
Yeah,
don't get canceled.
They coming.
Okay, all right.
But and I don't like doing pain comparison. I really don't. I don't really care for the conversation. My pain is worse than your pain because, like Bob Marley says, "He who feels it knows it, Lord." That everybody they have their pain. But I do want to point out something with the Jewish story from 19. I'm gonna say 40 to 40. Actually, when I went to the Holocaust Museum in D.C., their troubles actually started 8 years before, around 1933, and it was just a gradual thing what they were doing. Same thing they probably doing here, and that's how you wound up with the Jews in the death camps and in the gas chambers. But what I want to say is that that's a segment of history that even after that, the Jews got reparations for what they went through. And so that it's a segment of time that, the atrocity happened. Ours is ongoing in counting. We didn't get no relief or reparations. That's why I was telling you about reparations. That's what my argument is with reparation, to repair, to undo, to give us some type of dignity and respect that has basically been stolen from us. And, the situation that black people find themselves in America is not by chance. It's not because we had this bad episode of 200 years of slavery or whatever. No, this is by design and it's ongoing. And that's what we was talking about, the prison industrial complex, Jim Crow, and where we are right now. Well, where we are right now is everybody's in the same boat right now, because America look like it could go either way, fall or not. And if America falls, what does it look like after that? And you talking about some tribalism. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's going to be
they'll
some
circle the
serious.
wagon.
Oh yeah, people
yeah.
gonna run to their group because you got the bigots out there, the white racists out there would love to put black people in some gas chambers, you know, or any other people, you know, that don't look like them. Headsets be raring for that, but that's insanity on his face. As far as black people are concerned, my argument has always been, we are the original tribe of the earth. You know, there's some things in our DNA, like I was talking about, this forgiveness and this compassion, this love that I see runs through all black people, no matter what tribe. Now, one thing you don't want to do is piss black people off. I get that. You know, you don't want no trouble. We don't want no smoke now, you know, especially individual. Now, that's why you know, people come with us as a group, because it's an individual. That love will do the opposite 180 degrees. But naturally, when you meet black people, they're naturally going to be a certain way. It comes out of Africa. It's in your DNA. But where we are right now, as far as, you know, the history and our tribalism, it's the state of black America is, I don't know. I don't give it no. This tribe is in a change. I think we're in I don't know where we at really, because we've been damaged. I mean, what's your perspective?
No, I agree. You know, is that in every tribe, I guess you got a leader.
Yes,
every tribe.
That's right. The
and
elders.
see, and the thing is that I see is that we have failed along the way. Because after the likes of, you know, you go Marcus Garvey, you go back to James Baldwin, you go back to Martin Luther King, you go to Malcolm X, you know, those are people. Medgar Evers, yes, exactly.
I always got that's
right. Yeah, that's your homeboy.
Yeah.
But I see that as the people, you know, having somebody that they can refer to, if you will,
right,
knowing that what they're speaking or what their beliefs is ties in closely to what yours is that these are the things that we need. But we haven't had, you know, and I say we as the black tribe, we haven't had anybody like that. Because
hold it now, hold it. They done killed quite a few.
I know that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. No. That's what I'm saying. I was calling all them names because the thing is that these are people that was leading the tribe, if you will.
I get that. And I just wanted to point out, because that's a good point you made. We had when those assassinations happened in the '60s, that was massive for America too. John Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, right? Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I think Medgar Evers was early on in the '60s, like 60. What was it? 62 somewhere. But anyway, that's a massive amount of leadership and knowledge. So now we're left with, and then I'm gonna let you close because we want to get to before the end of the show. I want to talk about this record-setting entertainment section. But go ahead, man. I just wanted to point that out.
And you're right. And then look at it, you know, from the same perspective that what just happened in Iran. They did that one bombing. They going after this one leader.
Yeah.
But they killed all of their.
Right.
So there's a vacuum.
Right.
Even though it's a big vacuum. You know, the military guys are. You know, so now is that you don't have that structure. You don't have that leadership. You know, then that's when your tribalism gonna kick in 101.
Yeah.
Is that Calvin say, hey, everybody that believes like me, let's go over here.
Right. We're not going to take this break because we're down to 3 minutes, and then because we kind of went over.
Okay.
But what I wanted, we're going to switch over to entertainment right now, and for the last couple of minutes, because a record-setting thing happened the other night. What's the name? Abayo. Bam Abayo. I can't pronounce the name. Adebayo. 83 points. That hasn't happened in, like I say, 20 years since Kobe. Before Kobe, it was probably, 40 years before that. Will Chamberlain at 100. What do you think about that? Did you have any thoughts?
Well, I just caught on at last minute, and then I was watching Sports Center, and I seen it. You know, I had happened.
You put them statistics up there.
I see
We get them. I just wanted to mention his statistics here. He's got what's that? 20 field goal. Well, he played 41 minutes out of 48 because he's got 20 out of 43 field goals, 7 out of 22.
And look how many free throws he shot.
So, and they say it was the Wizards, but like we pointed out, that's an NBA team. It doesn't, and they score 83 points.
Right.
So. I give him credit for a great game, and I give even his teammates credit because they had to be feeding him, right?
Right. Yeah. He said his teammate seen that he was on, and he was coming out throwing some shots up that I was like, why he shot that and then all the way. But I give him his credit as due, and in that, I know we got a couple minutes left. Is that I tied it in. I don't know if you watched this game on the other day. Is that they interviewed Michael Jordan. Did you see that interview?
I saw a little bit of it. So they asked him what's the greatest.
Did you hear about talking about the GOAT?
Yeah.
Did you agree with it?
Yeah, it was a general answer. You can't really. Basically, what I heard him say, you just can't. Every generation has their great players. He can't really. He wasn't really giving an answer as much. It was just a general.
I thought he gave an answer because what he's saying is that he said I would have loved to play with LeBron. I would have loved to play with Kobe.
Okay.
But because of their time. So when they say the greatest of all time, I always cringe when they say that because at one time the first person that they started giving that to was Ali, the greatest of all time.
Okay.
Because of that time. But then again, when you come up as the years go by, everybody gonna different. But what Jordan's problem with it is that these new and improved kids is that they're not paying homage and respect to the one because everybody brought something to the game.
Right. But they're not respecting the tribe.
Yes.
And that happens.
Yeah, that is a tribe in itself.
I know Al Sharpton has a problem with that, and I notice I'm glad that he always points that out, that the struggle, how we got to where we are. It's a good subject, brother. That's how we run. It's only an hour show, and we try and stick with the time. Enjoy everybody watching, and whoever's out there watching or you watched it later, make sure you hit the subscribe button to help us get this show on the road, get it off the ground. It's not easy to get this thing to where it is. I know we got some glitches, but that's fine. It's going to develop, I think, and we'll do this for about a year or so, and hopefully, and we'll go from there. But right now, everything seems to be falling in place as long as people hit that subscribe button to keep us going. And you can also be a paid subscriber, but right now, just hit subscribe. And good show, brother.
Yeah.
And look forward to next week's subject. Yeah. And we'll go from there. And as always, as the ancestors would tell you guys, always, always do the right thing.
Good transitions, man.